That's weird. Investigate the terminal. The power is on. Look at this, Gillian. The data of people to be snatched is all being neatly processed.
So this is where the whole thing begins. The endostructures arrive here from the Kremlin. Then they convert them into copies of their victims. And finally, they head out into the city using the old subway system.
With artificial skin maintenance being handled at Queen's Hospital.
But who's behind all this?
Gillian, look at this. There are some finished snatchers over here.
Get a load of this.
What the hell are these guys?
The US president, the prime ministers of Japan, and the UK.
Oh, is that me?
Gillian, you're in here too.
Figures. They were looking to snatch every VIP at the summit.
And the last junker, you. It definitely looks like they plan on moving out beyond Neo-Kobe.
If they were to snatch every major world leader, they'd practically be able to control the planet. Still, that's odd. With their flawed skin, pulling something off like that would really be difficult.
Chin said they had found the key to developing a perfect artificial skin. Maybe they've already produced it.
No idea. But the number of snatchers here makes it clear that they're up to something new.
Gillian, this is definitely their nest. We should destroy everything.
Not yet. Not until we found Jamie. Metal, how much time do we have left?
The summit should have begun by now. We don't have much time.
Oh, shit.
And once our legal privileges are suspended, I won't be able to help. In fact, I'll be forced to restrain you.
I know.
Shit.
If the military wants to avoid nukes and goes for a surgical strike on this facility, what would they likely use?
Probably a phased particle beam from one of the attack satellites.
A phased particle beam, huh?
Damn.
That'll wipe this complex right off the map.
That's actually interesting, by the way, viewers.
Everything, including the soil, will simply evaporate. The attack will leave just a large crater.
Metal, can you convince them to give me another hour? Even 30 minutes will help.
Understood. I'll try my best.
And I'll try to find and rescue Jamie in that time.
I can't transmit here due to interference from the Snow 9. I'll have to leave the area and then send the message.
Oh shit, gonna go alone?
All right, do it, Metal.
Gillian, don't forget. 30 minutes. You must get out before then.
I understand.
Gillian, I'm sorry I couldn't help you better.
Don't worry about it. I'll be able to move faster by myself anyway. 30 minutes should be plenty. Go, Metal.
Yes, sir. Don't forget, 30 minutes.
"30 minutes? Oh, this is gonna be tight. That room's the only place left to check. Let's take a look."
He didn't open the door for me, though. Well, I guess I can open it on my own. Oh shit! Sectors! I wasn't ready. Am I gonna die here? Am I gonna die here? Yeah. I'm dead! Before I continue, viewers, one thing there's one thing that I actually wanna mention. Since I actually mentioned that they're gonna nuke the area, there was one thing that, especially since we're talking about the Metal Gear canon here, one extremely important thing that should be mentioned about the Metal Gear canon is that Big Boss, you know, with him forming Outer Heaven, he actually managed to steal and eradicate the world from every nuclear head. And in the Metal Gear canon, especially this is something that I actually mentioned in Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, that Big Boss actually managed to pull that over. And interestingly enough, this is something that you actually do in Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain. One of the objectives, which surprisingly enough, it unlocks that secret ending. Well, I'm not gonna say it's a secret ending, but a secret event that happens and gets unlocked once you actually do that and actually do eradicate the game's world from every possible nuclear weapon in it, it unlocks that that event, which is pretty much canon to what happened. That was something cool that Metal Gear 5 actually managed to do. So when they actually mentioned that, oh, they're gonna nuke the area, I thought they were actually gonna use a nuclear weapon, but good thing that the game actually mentioned that nuclear weapons do not exist in the world, in this world at the very least. So this is actually one part of the Metal Gear canon. They're gonna be used, I guess, satellite, some sort of a satellite particle cannon, which is. And it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense for them to go to that route. So it's very cool that they actually mentioned that. Yeah. So you know, very interesting for those who are invested in the Metal Gear canon. All right. Let me try again. Don't die. Have a nice day. Pull out the gun. Misinput. Misinput. Let me do that again. I had a lot of misinputs here, which is very annoying. So yeah, there's like they actually they spawn at one point and immediately start going in a different way. So they are kind of mixing it up a little bit. A misinput again. I'm getting a lot of misinputs. I really wonder if there's a way for me to remedy that. Maybe put some sort of a turbo mechanism. We'll see, we'll see. I'm misinput again. Misinput again. Yeah, that's gonna be the end of me. It's the problem with the misinputs, viewers. I don't think it's a problem with my controller, viewers. I might actually try and switch. I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna switch the controller. I might just try and switch to my arcade stick and see if that's gonna help. Alright, viewers, I switched to my arcade stick. I really don't know the... I don't know the, whatchamacallit. The A or B button. These. I think I actually do know. We'll see. Okay, I got it. Yeah, I'm just smashing. Just to make sure that that I don't have any misinputs. Oh, there's a lot of them! Oh!
Whew. I wasn't ready for that. They almost got me.
Woo! Arcade 6!
Let's open the next door.
More of them?
Doesn't look like there's anything here. Whoa!
What the? Oh, more of them. Well, at least these are gonna be easy. This time it's snatchers. Yeah, they go down by one shot. So there's nothing different between them and between whatchamacallit, and sectors.
Jeez, these guys are tough. Of course, I didn't exactly expect them to welcome me with open arms. Okay, let's try this next door.
More snatchers? I wonder. Jamie! I'm not gonna shoot at him. Oh, maybe they expected me to shoot.
Jamie, are you all right?
Gillian, you came for me.
Are you hurt?
No, they won't lay a finger on me. Not until the new artificial skin is completed anyway.
Artificial skin research? You?
Gillian, I've got my memory back. All of it.
What happened? Tell me, Jamie.
They said they'd kill him. They said they'd kill Harry. They forced me. I had to help
he's
them
a
with the
snatcher,
skin
though.
development. They said I had to help them because the professor was ill. Wasn't getting any better. Gillian, the engineer Harry, he's our son. He's been living on his own now for 50 years.
Jamie, I'm afraid that Harry's...
There was nothing I could do. They forced me. But I can't do it anymore.
Jamie!
The professor, he just died. He was over 100.
The professor? What? This old man?
Madnar? Is that Madnar?
Don't you remember? It's Professor Modner. Professor Petrovich Modner.
What? This old man is Modner?
He's been confined here for 3 years now, just to develop the Snatcher's artificial skin. Terrible. Doing that to your own father.
Whose father? Jamie, I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
You really can't remember, can you?
Jamie, tell me. Tell me who I am. What were we doing at the Kremlin?
Are you sure you really want me to, Gillian? It's all so awful, but if you must know, I'll tell you. Try to remain calm, okay?
Okay.
56 years ago, you and I were involved in a top-secret Soviet project. It was still during the time of the Cold War. The gulf between East and West was as wide as ever. Everybody was worried about nukes. At that point, the world's armies were at their largest ever. Leaders still believed that a strong military meant a strong nation. There were rumors that there would be an agreement to end the production of nuclear weapons. On the other hand, the major powers like the US began to get involved in a space weapons race. But not the Soviets. The conservative despots in the Kremlin had another, completely different idea for gaining military superiority. A horrible plan, something no one else would think of. At that time, the countries of the communist bloc were facing an economic crisis. Popular movements pushing for democracy were springing up all over. Communism itself was facing extinction. Facing pressure from the reformers, the Kremlin began to panic. And that's when that horrible, childish plan was launched.
And that was the Snatcher Project. Replace your enemy's leaders with puppets of your own. Then you control their governments, their economies, take over a country from the inside out.
That's right, Gillian. And to develop these robots, they assembled some of the most brilliant scientific minds from around the world. Some of them were even brought in against their will. At the crux of that development effort was a group called the Frankenstein Project Team. You and I were members of that team, Gillian. It was a 4-person team led by the late Professor Modner here.
Damn, we're Russians?
The robotics expert was Professor Modner himself. His son, Elijah Modner, handled genetics and microbiology. For nanobiology and picobiology, myself. And for behavioral science and psychology, you, Gillian. Early development was carried out at a lab in Novosibirsk, but was later moved to a secret facility under the Kremlin. At the time, the glasnost and perestroika movements were gaining momentum, and they rightly feared for the existence of the program if it should become known. But some of the reformers did learn of the project, and they conspired with the US to block it.
You remembered all of that?
You were a CIA special agent sent by the United States to infiltrate and sabotage the project.
Oh.
I was CIA?
Yes, and the government knows that. That's why you were assigned to the Junker team.
What? Who am I?
Work on the project continued to go smoothly. But then, on June 6, 1996, there was that accident. A mysterious explosion at the Chernobyl facility spread a bacterial weapon that was under development there into the atmosphere, destroying the country and the project. Gillian, was it you? Did you set off that explosion?
What? You can't be serious. You think I caused the catastrophe?
Somehow, during the confusion, Professor Modner and our son Harry managed to get picked up by American agents. But we couldn't get out in time, you and I and Elijah. In a shelter below the Kremlin, we entered a cryogenic sleep. Our plan was to sleep there until the toxic effects of the bacteria were safely passed.
And then 48 years later, 3 years ago, we were discovered by the 17th Special Investigative Force.
Yes, but when they found us, Elijah's pod was already empty.
Elijah Modner? That guy whose picture was in the church? The one that looks like Random?
That's right, Elijah is alive! Elijah is here and working on the Snatchers.
Why don't you let me finish your little story?
What the?
Who's there?
It's been a while, hasn't it, Jamie? Ah, yes. And Gillian. It's me, Jamie.
Elijah? Is that really you?
Random? No, not quite.
So you remember me, do you? I am Elijah Modnar, the only son of Professor Petrovich Modnar. I'm afraid I've grown somewhat old and feeble since we last met, however.
Elijah,
Uh-oh.
why are you doing this? Your father, Professor Modner, he passed away a few minutes ago.
What? My father? My father is dead?
Elijah, what happened to you? The Elijah I knew could never do anything like this.
I've changed, Jamie. These 40 years have changed me.
I can't believe it. What happened to you?
What happened to me? Jamie, do I actually have to explain it to you? Jamie, it's you. Your beauty is the cause of all that has come to pass here.
What?
57 years ago, I was obsessed. With my research, yes. And with you, Jamie. At the time, I was still young, having just graduated with my genetic engineering degree.
God damn.
My father's connections got me on the team, and there, I met you. You were working as my father's assistant. Your beauty, your smile, I was stricken.
Oh, it worked on me too.
I knew that I never felt with women of my own country.
No, I don't blame you.
You warmed my cold, young heart, Jamie. You opened me up, and I couldn't stop my feelings.
Elijah.
Oh, I was so happy. The political situation was crumbling around us, but every day was a joy. I gained my father's trust, and with you there watching over me, I was able to work as hard as I ever have on the project. However, my happiness did not last for long. Gillian, it was you. You showed up and all was ruined. You arrived and joined our project team. Far from home, Jamie found comfort in a man from the same land. Your relationship grew quickly, and all I could do was stand by and watch. Jamie and Gillian fell in love, were joined, and even had a child.
Harry.
Even then, my feelings for you only grew stronger. Worried about me, my father tried to have me removed from the project, but I persisted. Jamie, I always wanted to be near you. And then, the democratic movements that had consumed the rest of the Eastern Bloc spread to our country as well. The Cold War was over. The hardliners who had pushed for its development were stripped of power and the project was cancelled. The reformers, trying to cover up the existence of such a crazed project, ordered that all materials related to it be destroyed and that we stand trial for our actions. Jamie and Gillian were to be returned to their homeland. That's about the time that I learned that you, Gillian, that you were a CIA agent, and that you were trying to pass documents on our research to your military. The country had sold us out.
La CIA!
I'm no politician. I couldn't care less about what happened to the country. All I cared about was my research and Jamie. And I was to lose all of that, everything. For someone so young, you cannot understand how great of a shock that was.
Elijah.
That is when I decided, I swore I would see that secret, crazed project through to the end. At the time, the bioroids were 80% finished. The main part, their endostructure, was essentially completed. But we still were having trouble with the artificial skin, the area that Jamie and I were assigned to. We called it artificial skin, but there was of course no need to duplicate T lymphocytes, Langerhans cells, or endocrine cells. All we needed was keratinized cells and melanocytes to provide the pigment. With the artificial protein development techniques that we had in those days, full-scale synthetic cell development was very difficult. Research like this took months, years. The original project called for us to simultaneously snatch an entire country. In other words, a whole nation, or an entire city, had to be snatched over the course of one night. For that reason, a powerful biological agent, which could quickly and effectively kill the population of the country, was being simultaneously developed.
Whoa.
Lucifer Alpha.
That's right. A type RAO11 virus which another team was developing. For someone like myself, who was closely involved in the project,
Lucifer Alpha,
blowing up
huh?
the lab was quite a simple task.
My God, Elijah, do you know what you're saying? That explosion killed half the world's population.
I moved all the materials and records essential to the Bioroid project into the shelter and executed my plan on June 6th. After sealing off the lab, I brought the two of you with me to the underground shelter, and we entered a cryogenic sleep. but not before I programmed an atmospheric research satellite to transmit a wake signal when the danger from Lucifer Alpha had passed.
And 10 years later, Lucifer Alpha naturally mutated into a non-toxic form.
But the automatic revival system failed to work.
Oh no, it worked. Just as planned. It revived me 10 years later. A little sooner than the two of you, of course.
10 years later,
And even though you sealed the lab with the explosion and everything, you should have been exposed. Why weren't you?
Oh, I was. But by that time, the vaccine L Angels had already been developed.
So everything went just as you planned it then?
Yes, up until that point. But my real struggle was yet to come. My original plan was to revive Jamie as well, and for the two of us to finish the development of the bioroids. You, Gillian, you were to stay asleep forever. But I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Not after looking at Jamie's peaceful face there in the pod. Besides, I could never have convinced her to work with me on the project anyway. I knew the time was not yet right, so I changed the timers of your pods to permanent on.
How? How could you do such a thing?
And so for the next 40 years, I worked alone in that cold and lonely room under the Kremlin, trying to complete the artificial skin for the Snatchers. For days and days, no one would visit me. I never saw the sun or felt the changing of the seasons. Still, I always had Jamie by my side. You were always there for me to talk to. Just you and I for 40 years in that dark cellar.
creepy.
Oh, you poor, poor man.
And then, 3 years ago, my research was finally completed. First, I snatched the Siberian Special Investigative Forces to establish a transport route for the Snatchers. And then, to test the effect of large-scale snatch operations, I chose Neo-Kobe City to be my experimental sample. Neo-Kobe is cut off from the surrounding areas, a sort of miniature country in itself, making it a perfect test site. And since it's a melting pot of various races, it would also allow me to gather extensive data on Snatcher modification and operational techniques. In addition, the element of suspicion or mistrust, which runs deep in Japanese culture, was another reason I chose this site.
But your test revealed a critical flaw in your machine's artificial skin.
Yes, quite unexpected, I'm afraid. All my research for 40 years. I gathered data and worked day and night to find a solution, but nothing seemed to work.
So that's why you decided to bring Professor Modner here, right?
That's correct. I discovered my father in one of the government's hospitals. He was old, but still very sound of mind. Naturally, he would not cooperate with me.
Of course not. He'd never become involved in something like that.
So, unable to receive his assistance, I decided that I had to have yours. But a mistake on my part allowed both you and Gillian to be taken into custody by the authorities first.
Just what are you trying to accomplish, Elijah? You must know you can never get Jamie back.
I'm only interested in discovering what I can of the human animal. In the past, it was because of Jamie. My motive is different now.
It sounds like you're just suffering from the wild arrogance that corrupts so many scientists.
Humans are such weak creatures. No matter how much they trust one another, the tiniest speck of suspicion can destroy it all. Look at how the Snatcher problem has caused such wild unrest. No matter how much science advances or how high we set our ideals, we eventually begin to suspect each other, to hate each other, and then to kill each other. The Snatchers are nothing more than a tool for bringing out this reaction. I am simply using the Snatchers to elicit the true nature of the human animal. I think this experiment has shown me the limits of human society. I sincerely doubt it will be able to reach any greater level of prosperity on its own. If human society ever hopes to reach greater heights, what is needed is an absolute leader, A firm ruler who isn't affected by these trivial episodes of mistrust.
You're crazy if you think people would ever obey Snatchers.
Of course they wouldn't. But if they don't know, they cannot object. There has been a time in every age that the people have longed for a god to lead them. As long as they give the people no reason to suspect them, then they can easily become their gods. Indeed, a new race of super beings. We are almost there. Once we perfect the artificial skin, Snatchers will transcend man to become this planet's true human beings.
But you'll never get your perfect skin now. Professor Modner is dead.
I no longer have any use for my father. I have a sample of the new skin he developed. Once I've analyzed it, I'll be able to make as much as I need. Or if need be, we could simply culture the keratinized cells, epithelial cells, and melanocytes in the quantities that we need.
What are you talking about? How could you get a sample of perfected artificial skin?
Why don't you take a look at this? We found this in the rubble of Queen's Hospital.
That's random. He was a Snatcher all along.
Random?
Oh, an acquaintance of yours?
He's a Snatcher?
That term isn't exactly accurate. This bioroid was constructed by my father without my knowledge. He modeled it after me in my youth. He built it right here in this facility. And not only that, he programmed it to destroy Snatchers. This bioroid caused me serious difficulties. It's designed and built far better than my Snatchers. The machine itself thought it was human. My father input memories for it all the way back to childhood. Those too were apparently mine.
He's pretty much an android.
Realized? Random Hajil is Elijah Modner spelled backwards. How like my father, silly old man. He did virtually overnight what I could not do in 40 years of effort. Furthermore, he makes a bioroid so perfect, even the bioroid itself.
Now the name makes sense.
Itself to be real. What's more, the cells of the skin he developed are self-replicating. Once in place, no further transplants or culturing is necessary.
Is he dead?
Its main and locomotive systems are completely shut down. It's just scrap now. But the artificial skin is being kept alive. This we need. With this, we can move to phase 2 of our plan of full-scale infiltration of the world's major nations.
The summit's already over. You'll never succeed.
What does the summit matter? Nothing holds us back now that we have this perfect skin. We can go anywhere we want, and there will be no way to tell us apart. I will have free control over the world. Nothing will be able to stop me. Politics and free thought will no longer have any meaning. My will alone will decide the course of human history.
But they will nuke Kobe altogether.
You egomaniac.
So it's not gonna work.
You can snatch the entire population?
There's a fully automated Snatcher factory under the Kremlin. Even as we speak, scores of new Snatchers are being born.
But no matter how hard you try, you won't be able to snatch the people's heart and soul. What do you hope to gain from this anyway?
Jamie, the human race is composed of fools. But I'm different. I will be its savior. Indeed, not just of mankind, but of all life on the planet.
I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Oh shit!
Metal!
Whoa!
In 10 minutes, this church will be struck by a phased particle beam. I am guiding the beam from the attack satellite using GPS and 15 navigational satellites. The beam cannot miss. Everything in a 2 to 3 kilometer radius from me will be destroyed.
Stop this foolishness now. I will not have my research destroyed by some souped-up pocket calculator.
Metal, what happened at the summit?
The delegates, worried about the Snatcher menace, voted unanimously to allow the use of nuclear weapons on the city.
Son of
The
a...
military is presently imposing a quarantine on Neo Kobe.
What? Do they intend to kill everybody?
The populace is in a state of panic. However, they have agreed to lift the quarantine if this church is struck by the phased particle beam. This is our last chance. I will handle things here. Gillian, Jamie, you two must flee.
You insignificant mass of metal. You'll never...
One move and I detonate. Gillian, run!
Metal, this is crazy!
We can't let a single Snatcher get out of here. And this new artificial skin has to be destroyed as well.
I will not allow some talking scrap pile to get away with this. If you are the aiming point for the beam, then I'll just have you thrown out of here. Grab this little one and take him out of here.
Oh shit! Gonna shoot, Oh, all of them are gonna go online? Oh, we're gonna shoot a lot of Snatchers. Oh, son of a...
Metal!
Cowardly little robot.
You always were a real pain in the butt.
Ah, random!
What's that?
He's still alive!
What? How did... You're supposed to be deactivated.
I don't go down that easy, old man.
Stop this foolish...
Shut up! Let's try to make our final moments peaceful, shall we? And you Snatchers, you touch the little guy and the old man's head comes off.
Random!
I've always hated being used. Why don't you watch the final act with me?
Gillian, you only have 5 minutes. The turbo cycle is just outside on standby. Use that to flee.
Let me go. I'm Elijah Modner. I'm your original.
I don't care if I'm an original or a copy or what. You and I are gonna die right here. If we both die, there won't be a copy anymore now, will there?
The stupid logic of a simpleton, of a machine.
Whatever it is, it's my will!
Machines have no will. Machines cannot sacrifice themselves.
We'll see about that.
You have 4 minutes. You must go. And don't forget to take care of the factory under the Kremlin.
Stop!
Gillian, even if these memories in my head are fiction...
Yeah, I know what you mean. Our memories of our time together are all too real, Random.
Gillian, you become one hell of a junker.
Gillian, it has been most recreational being your partner.
Oh, Metal!
If you can, try to pick up the pieces for me, okay? Like we did for Little John?
Little John? Oh! Okay, Metal.
Hurry! You only have 3 minutes!
Thanks! Thanks, you two! Jamie, come on!
Metal! Random! No.
No! Don't let her go! No!
You pathetic old fool! You don't even know how to love someone!
You stupid machine! What is that idiotic grin supposed to mean?
By snatching you, I'm finally gonna get my real self back!
Random, there's less than 1 minute to go. Thanks to you, everything will be fine.
You don't owe me any thanks. Sorry to get you involved in such a big job. You did great. You're a hell of a junker.
3, 2, 1, here it comes!
Later, kid!
Oh!
So you're really going, aren't you?
It's our responsibility, too. Besides, if I go to Moscow, I may get some of my memory back. And if that happens, I'll be able to love you even more than I do now. Wait for me. I want to be with you, but first I've got to destroy this terrible factory of theirs. Jamie?
Can't you just nuke it from orbit?
Let's try living together again. What do you say?
13 Special Operations Squad and all objective personnel. Report immediately for departure.
What about Mika?
We'll be waiting for you too.
Katrina!
Oh, shit!
You better be happy, Buster, with all these beautiful women seeing you off.
I'm happy you came. Let me introduce my wife.
Jamie Seed. I suppose it's a little odd introducing myself a second time, though.
What do you mean? You've never met them before, have you?
What are you talking about, Gillian? We're good friends.
Huh? Since when?
It's the first time I've met her in person, but I've spoken with her on the video phone a lot of times.
What? Have you guys been talking about me behind my back?
Well, that is odd. I guess that's it, viewers, huh? Let me try and oh, look at everyone. Jamie, I'm really sorry for all the worry I've caused you. By the time I return, I'll probably have my memory back. Don't worry, I promise to make you happy. Damn, what about Mika? You might be a bit lonely for a while, but I'll be back soon. Hang in there. Katrina. This kid has had much rough time. She lost almost everything practically overnight. I just couldn't stand to leave such a cute kid all by herself. Fucking weirdo. She's 14! I'm going to memorize every detail of Katrina's lovely face so that I don't forget it. She's 14! Gillian, would you stop that? I feel like you're undressing me with your eyes. She is 1 and 4 near each other! Double digit 14! She's done a really great job. I owe her a lot of thanks. Don't worry, Mika. This is one job I won't mess up. Alright, let's start talking to them. Well, to Mika first, I guess. Trying to learn more about you was what got our relationship started. Oh, you mean you and Jamie? Before I knew it, we really became close, don't we? You mean, didn't we? Don't let have a nice day fix your English. Our relationship has gone beyond just being friends. Ooh. Beyond just friends? That sounds pretty good to me. Goddamn, Kojima! Kojima, you son of a bitch! Oh, don't be stupid, Gillian. You have a warped mind sometimes, you know. It's Kojima. I'm telling you, it's Kojima. Kojima's having fun. Fucking degenerate. I was telling Mika about how lonely it was being home alone all the time. And she told me that Jamie was always worried about me. So I gave her a video phone call. With even Alice gone, I was really lonely. Ah, she knew about Alice? Goddamn. Katrina. I guess now she knew about Alice. They're both so easy to talk to. It's like I've got two real sisters now. They're just like a family to me now. While you're away, I hope it's okay for Jamie to come and live with me. Yeah, I have no problem with that at all. I will shorten my commute as well, so I'll be killing two birds with one stone. Great, I'm so happy. It's so nice to have somebody else living in the house with me. Are we gonna adopt her? Is that how it's gonna go? Alright, let's talk to Jamie. I'm so tired of living alone. Maybe I'll ask Katrina if I can move in with her in the near future. I feel almost as if I've got a new little sister. That's really wonderful. Katrina is such a cheerful and sweet kid.
So have they finalized what they're going to do about Junker operations? I suppose this will end up being our last mission, huh?
Well, originally they were planning on disbanding the team, but now they've decided to keep us in business.
So that means...
That's right. We've been designated as one of the government's special police divisions. That puts us above the regular cops.
So the government has decided that crime by machines poses a bigger threat than crime by humans from here on out, huh?
They've chosen the new chief, too. So when you get back, you'll get to meet the new head honcho.
Well, it's comforting to know I've got a place I can...
Who's it gonna be? Damn, with a salute? Have a safe trip, Second Lieutenant Seed. I'm a second lieutenant as well, so let's try to work well together when you get back. What? I'm a second lieutenant? How come my rank is even lower than what I had in the army, eh?
And I'll forgive you for that little incident.
What?
Right?
Shh, shh, shh.
When you get back from this job, you still have a dinner date to keep with me, you know.
Shh.
Don't worry. I won't forget my promises to either of you. Oops, almost forgot. Of course, I'll want to spend some private moments with my wife, too, huh? What's wrong, Jamie?
She's giving you the stink eye? What?
Harry and I will be waiting for you to get home.
Damn.
That's Harry's hat.
We can do it this time, Gillian. Not some fake couple like before, but with love and trust.
I know, Jamie.
Take care, Gillian.
I'll see you, Jamie.
Wait! Wait for me! Take me with you, please!
Is that metal?
You? Metal?
Yes, sir! You have a good frame to work with.
Oh no, they turned him into a Sega CD!
Metal Gear. Sega CD for now.
So they found your memory chip in one piece, eh?
Random protected it from the blast of the beam.
Random, huh?
Oh, random's,
Wait a second. I've
or is
heard
that Napoleon?
Somewhere before.
Really? I didn't hear anything. Anyway, I want to know if you'll take me with you. Please, Gillian, please take me with you.
That's Napoleon.
Hurry up and get on board, partner.
Yes, sir, Gillian.
Throughout history, suspicion has always bred conflict. The real conflict, though, resides in people's hearts. This conflict has just begun.
And there it is, viewers! There it is! The conclusion of Snatcher. Yeah, this is a great game, viewers. I definitely enjoyed it. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt, yeah. The question is, I found the answer. Question has been answered. This is pretty much my favorite Sega CD game. Oh, pressed the turbo button by mistake. But yeah, this is absolutely an amazing game. Definitely the way that it actually tells its story, it definitely shows what Kojima is capable of. Something that definitely has been shown definitely in Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake, but this game actually came before it, so this actually definitely showed how, even though it's kind of dated, it's definitely, if this is something that they actually managed to do within the PC engine, that's absolutely crazy. I think the first game was on the PC engine, not on the MSX, but this is crazy. This is crazy good. An absolutely amazing game. Through and through. The storytelling, you know, using simple adventure game mechanics for looking around and whatnot. The story itself is very interesting. The scope itself is also very, very interesting. The twist is also really interesting. Like it was really fun following the whole story through and through. There are a few problem. Well, I'm not gonna say problem. There are a few how can I say it? Best way to describe it. There are a few instances where they have definitely. Oh, Metal Gear was voiced by a lady. That's really good, actually. Props to her. There are a few shortcomings of the way that actually of the way the game actually let me try and rephrase that even better. Let me try and rephrase that even better. There are a few instances in this game where it definitely, I think it's the pacing in this game was a little bit too fast, in my opinion. That there were like how you know, over how many hours, how many days did it actually last? Since Gillian actually got there, I think there was some sort of a problem with the pacing. I think things went a little bit too fast, in my opinion. Definitely, the game definitely would have benefited from things going a little bit slower. It is weird to say that, viewers. I know, it is weird to say that. Usually the thing with pacing with games, it's the fact that things go a little bit too slow is a problem with the game. But I think it's a little bit, this year, it actually went a little bit too fast, especially for the beginning. The rest of the game, I think it's actually, went a little bit, the pacing was really great, but only a problem with the beginning, just to try and establish the connection between the characters. If we actually were a little bit alive with Gibson alive too, seeing a little bit of Gibson, of what his relationship with all of the team. Even if we actually, it would have been even better if we actually had to interact with the real Chief Cunningham. rather than actually, you know, just try and, you know, just we're gonna have to interact with the Snatcher himself. Maybe even catch a little bit of something that might actually criminate him. Something that won't matter that much. It would be hard to notice, but it would make much sense much later when we actually find out that he was actually gonna be a Snatcher. Giving Harry a reason to actually following him. So I think in that part, I think the pacing went a little bit too fast. Just at the very beginning of the game. If we actually had to go back, interact with Gibson a little bit, maybe follow him, maybe he can actually lead us and train us to be, and actually teach us how things go, how can you actually be a Snatcher. Even, I think actually, even with Random, they actually kind of wanted to try and make some sort of a tragic character with that guy. They probably could have made some sort of a, also built some sort of a relationship between him and Gillian, or even between Random and Gibson. And this is something, I think this is somewhat of a missed opportunity. Which, I gotta be honest, it's definitely, I think it's a lost potential overall. I think the game actually would benefit from that a lot, in my opinion. But it is what it is, and the game definitely. I'm not gonna say that the game got hurt by that. I think maybe with the relationship of Gibson, because when we came back, like Mika was crying, and we didn't see why she was crying. Everyone was feeling sad for some reason. Even Gillian himself, in some way or so. It would have been a little bit interesting if they actually had a little bit of room of interaction between character, so we can actually see some sort of like a character progression. This is something important for these kind of games, for these narrative-heavy games. I think that's something like that is important. But then again, we're actually I'm talking about a game that came out in the 80s, viewers, and storytelling in the 80s was definitely wasn't even like. Not even, it never reached this expansive and impressive narrative that's actually been delivered, like in the game in that era. Not even a single game that I actually think of that I actually managed to do that. Maybe text-to-speech games back in the day, or maybe, of course, I would probably say point-and-click games back in the day. But I gotta be honest, point-and-click games never been that expansive as well. They had like good dialogue, especially with the older games. You know, especially these Scum Engine games, you know, what was the name of the games? Day of the Tentacle and all of these. But these games are even like came out maybe a few years after this game. So this game definitely kind of pioneered the whole thing. Well, I'm not gonna say pioneered. In terms, since these games are kind of, these games are, you know, these games are point-and-click games. They revolve on actually trying to locate stuff by pointing and clicking. This is what drives the narrative a little bit. And well, sometimes you can actually interact, so you have a choice with that. But with this one, especially one that came out really early, like, it is impressive. It is still impressive to this day, like, seeing how, and the game looks absolutely beautiful as well. This is a Sega CD game. It's an old game, but I think this game looks absolutely amazing. Everyone looks attractive. Everyone looks cool, even. I would definitely say Gillian looks cool. Gibson looked cool. Random looked cool. even Cunningham kind of looked cool. Like the whole setting overall, it's really good. And this is where I'm going back again. It's a wasted potential. This game definitely could have managed to do much more of that, and I wish it kind of did. But then again, I'm still talking about a game that came out way early in the in the 80s, where people still believe it's kind of the early days of video games, where still a lot of video games can't figure out a lot of developers can't figure out the formula of video games that people want to see. So this is a part of where developers actually try to experiment, and this is definitely kind of the cinematic approach of older video games, and this is definitely something that would probably was somewhat was kind of the approach with certain consoles, especially with the Golden Star, which is the 3DO, with the PC Engine as well. There's a lot of games that actually approach that, but I'm talking about the game that kind of pioneered all of that. This game came out, maybe there were a few games came out around the time, but we're talking about a game that came out in Japan and never had the nobody and it did like there was no opportunity for it to actually leave Japan until somewhat in the early 90s, or even I would probably say even the mid 90s, with the release of the Sega CD Virgin, which is I would still, it's the game's still probably gonna be still impressive, even during the mid 90s. But yeah, all in all, I think this game is absolutely amazing. Would I consider it one of my favorite games of all time? Like, I like how this game even concluded. I gotta be honest, the way that we found out these thing, like the really a few details there, even the misconception of Jamie kind of mistrusting Gillian at one point, of him actually causing the catastrophe. Like, yeah, that definitely took me. Like, did Gillian actually do that? Like, all of it, like the way that actually the game concluded itself, it concluded itself really well. I gotta be honest, this is a well written game. Surprisingly, I'm still amazed, viewers, that we're talking about a game that came out years ago, ages ago, and it has this kind of narrative, this kind of storytelling. This is absolutely amazing. And not only that, that's a game that actually managed to do that back in the day. I really still believe and think that this game definitely managed to like, how do I say it? What's the best way to actually say it? My vocabulary sucks, viewers. This game definitely, maybe the best way for it to describe it is actually that this game aged like fine wine. I really dislike the fact that some people think that certain older mechanics age badly. I don't think so. I think, in my opinion, I think there are mechanics that can improve at the end, and there's one point where these mechanics improve that makes the older mechanics not necessarily obsolete, but probably might actually make the game function much better, even much more fun than that. Not necessarily make the older games bad. Especially, this is something that I always repeated when people start talking about the tank controls for the older Resident Evil game. I don't think, like, people claim that, oh, older Resident Evil game are bad because tank control inherently bad because and dated and because they are old and whatnot. But I highly disagree. And with this one, definitely nothing did age because this is what you actually need. In a narrative-based game that focuses on telling a story and presenting characters and the world around them, uses simple mechanics of looking around, talking to people, using these certain mechanics to go through this whole adventure game. And this game definitely did stand the test of time. Probably the better description here is actually still stands as a really great game. It's a really great game. It's easy to get into if you're really interested in what the game is trying to offer, and it offers really something really interesting, something really fun, something really is definitely worth exploring. And yeah. And if I'm gonna recommend this game to people, I would say I can recommend this game to anyone. I absolutely can recommend this game to anyone. There's a lot of reading, which some people don't like to do that with their games, but it has a lot of voice acting, and I think if they actually managed to somewhat remake this game, which I'm not a big fan of, but especially since they might actually change the presentation of the game. I think the presentation of the game is absolutely amazing. Everyone looks absolutely cool, and the big problem with the remakes and with the remaster, they might try and do something that would try to modernize how the game looks, and maybe even with how Gibson interact with women, being a little bit of a womanizer. I probably would call him misogynistic, but these things are not a big problem to me, viewers. But you can actually see how something like that, if they would, if someone would bring this game again, some butthurt millennial in a localization team would actually go in and try to convince someone that, oh, this is not up to standards of 2023. You can now be misogynistic in 2023. This is absolutely offensive to women, and that's the big problem with me. It's with some of the remakes that I've seen for video games. I'm gonna give an example of Yakuza 3. I think there was a certain quest line with what appears to be a cross-dresser that if I remember, because I played the original PlayStation 3 game, and I think once they remastered it, they actually removed the whole quest line, mainly because Kazuma had some sort of a funny remarks, a few funny remarks to that regard, and at that day, people try to actually change that, and because they were afraid of people backfiring at something like that, which is, in my opinion, I think it's still stupid, and I can actually see something like that. If the game actually get the same treatment, it might actually. It might actually change all of that, and if you actually remove something like that from the game, you will definitely remove something really important. I'm not gonna say that it's like Gillian being being a weirdo and a pervert like that is actually something. Oh, it's part of his a very interesting part of his character. No, it's in my opinion, I think that's actually stupid and idiotic. I don't like all of that pervy shit that they try to do. But at least there is some sort of a take here that's definitely reflects the times of when the game came out, and in my opinion, that's the most important thing of things like that. I'm digressing here, viewers, with all of that. If the game got a remake, because I'm pretty sure that we're not gonna see a remake or a remaster of this game anytime soon. Sadly, it's gonna still stay hostage to a console that's been dead for decades, sadly. But, viewers, if you manage to try and get a copy of Snatcher, I can guarantee you that you guys are gonna have a really great time, because, yeah, I can recommend this game to anyone. Anyone that's not even interested in the adventure genre, the narrative heavy adventure genre. It might actually be the best way to start getting into these kind of games. Yeah, easily, this game might actually be one of my favorite games of all time, really, the way that it's actually told. And as I said, like there is also a missing potential here. This game could have been much better, but from a game that came out in the late 80s, this is an absolutely good it's an absolutely great game. Absolutely amazing. I can understand why people like this game have a cult following. And of course, with Kojima being having a huge fans and being known as one of the most prominent and best video game developers of the history of the gaming industry, which, yeah, if you show something like that, now it's like you can actually see why, once you play this game, why people hold Hideo Kojima in high regards. Of course, not to mention his other games with, you know, especially when he reached his highlight of his career with Metal Gear Solid 2, of course, which is a pretty crazy game. A pretty good game. And Snatcher, viewers, is nothing short of that. Pretty great game. Pretty amazing game. I enjoyed it a lot. And I hope you, viewers, also enjoyed this playthrough of me going through this game. And I appreciate you guys watching the playthrough. Hopefully, we're gonna see you with more Kojima games on the channel. Maybe yet another adventure game that he actually worked on. Yes, he worked on yet another adventure game. Google it if you can. It's Police Knots. It's Police Knots. I don't know when I'm gonna be able to play the Police Knots, but I'm definitely gonna try and have more Kojima games on this channel, as you know. I've always been a big fan of him. Well, up until I played the Metal Gear Solid 5, that is. After that, sadly, like he can't produce the same magic anymore for me. Well, at least for me. Even with Death Stranding, when I played it, I think even though the Death Stranding was not a bad game, it was a great game. It's not what I was looking for from a Kojima game. Definitely, I would definitely see this as a game that's actually much better than Death Stranding. That's it. And as I said, viewers, I appreciate you joining me watching this whole playthrough. And I'll see you, viewers, in the next playthrough with hopefully more Kojima games and more adventure games. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Have a Nice Day, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one, everyone. Peace.